All right, so we're back and ready to dive into some more fascinating sports talk.
Sounds good.
This time we're going to be taking a close look at all the buzz surrounding the upcoming NFL draft.
Always an exciting time of year for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopes are high. Everyone's got their mock drafts.
Right. You've got your sleepers, your potential busts. All those storylines start to emerge.
It's like the whole landscape that the NFL is about to shift.
Yeah. And for fans, it's fun to speculate about which players are going to end up on their favorite team.
For sure. And you know what? We've got a really interesting source to dissect today. A recent YouTube segment that dives deep into the debate around two quarterback prospects in particular, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders.
Yes, those names have been generating a lot of buzz recently.
Yeah, they're kind of at the center of this whole discussion about who could be the very best player available in the entire 2025 draft.
And that's what makes this deep dive so intriguing, right? We're not just looking at who might be a good pick for a particular team. We're talking about the top of the top.
It's exactly the cream of the crop, the potential franchise changers.
And what I find particularly fascinating is that it's not just about who these analysts are choosing, it's about the why.
You're right. It's like peeling back the layers and trying to understand how they evaluate talent at this elite level.
What specific skills, what traits, what potential are they seeing that elevates one player above another in their minds?
Exactly. Like what makes them think, okay, this guy has got that it factor that could make him a true superstar in the NFL.
It's a glimpse into the minds of these experts and how they assess the future potential of these young athletes.
Okay, so let's jump right into this YouTube segment now. It actually kicks off with a little side note about the New York Giants signing Jameis Winston to a 2-year deal.
Okay, interesting. What's the connection there?
Well, one of the analysts named Jay makes a point that I thought was really relevant to our conversation today.
I'm listening.
He says that even though the Giants now have Winston a veteran quarterback for at least a couple of years, they should still be looking to draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft.
So basically, don't let a short-term solution prevent you from finding a long-term answer at the most important position.
Precisely. It just goes to show you how much emphasis NFL teams place on the quarterback position.
It's like they're always searching for that franchise quarterback, the guy who can lead them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's the ultimate prize in the NFL, finding a quarterback who can consistently win games.
Makes sense. And, this ties directly into the conversation about Cam Ward.
Oh, for sure. In the YouTube segment, they mentioned how he actually decided to participate in Miami's Pro Day to really showcase his arm strength, especially after opting out of throwing at the combine.
That's a bold move. Shows he's confident in his abilities.
Definitely. And there's even some speculation that he could potentially go #1 overall to the Tennessee Titans.
Wow, that's high praise if they're thinking about him as the top pick in the entire draft.
Yeah, and it also shows how crucial these pre-draft showcases can be for players like Ward.
You're right. It's their chance to make a final impression on those NFL scouts to prove they've got what it takes to compete at the next level.
And in Ward's case, he clearly wants to demonstrate that his arm strength is the real deal.
Which is huge in today's NFL, right?
Absolutely. Those defenses are playing tighter coverage than ever before. Quarterbacks need to be able to zip the ball into those tight windows with both velocity and accuracy.
No doubt about it. A strong arm can be a game changer.
Okay, so here's where things get really interesting. One of the analysts on the segment, Louis Riddick, comes out and makes a pretty strong statement.
Oh, I'm intrigued. What does he say?
He doesn't just think Cam Ward is a good prospect. He flat out says that he believes Ward is the best player in this entire draft class.
Well, that's a bold claim considering all the other talented players out there.
It is, but Riddick has his reasons, and he lays them out pretty clearly.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
So, first and foremost, he emphasizes that Ward plays the most important position in football quarterback.
Well, you can't argue with that. Quarterbacks touch the ball on every offensive play.
Right, and Riddick goes on to say that it's not just about playing quarterback, it's about how Ward plays the position.
Okay, I'm curious what specifically about his style stands out.
Well, Riddick highlights Ward's ability to process information quickly, both before and after the snap.
So basically, he's saying that Ward can read the defense,
Yeah,
diagnose what they're doing, and make quick decisions.
exactly. And that's crucial at the NFL level, where defenses are so much faster and more complex.
No doubt about it. A quarterback who can't process information quickly is going to struggle.
And then Riddick throws out some pretty vivid descriptions of Ward's physical skills.
Like what?
He talks about his lightning-quick arm, great arm strength, and great touch.
So he's got the arm talent to make all the throws.
Apparently, and Riddick backs it up with stats, too. He mentions how Ward consistently ranked very high in college football in terms of his total quarterback rating, or QBR.
QBR. That's a good metric. It takes into account a lot of different factors to measure a quarterback's overall effectiveness.
Exactly. It's not just about touchdowns and yards. It's about making smart decisions and consistently moving the chains.
Right, and high QBR usually means you're making good reads, avoiding turnovers, and putting your team in a position to win.
And Riddick doesn't stop there. He also emphasizes how well Ward performed in those high-pressure moments. When he's facing a blitz, when he's under duress, when he's forced to make throws outside the pocket.
So basically, he's saying that Ward doesn't crumble under pressure.
He thrives in it, which is exactly what you want in your franchise quarterback.
Those are the guys who can make big plays when the game is on the line.
For sure. And Riddick doesn't just focus on the physical skills and the on-field performance.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah. He brings in something that a lot of people consider just as crucial leadership.
Yeah, the intangible qualities.
Right. And he calls Ward a truly unique individual when it comes to setting the tone and leading a program.
So he's not just talented, he's a natural leader.
And to really drive that point home, Riddick shares this anecdote about Miami coach Mario Cristobal.
Oh, this should be good.
So apparently Cristobal told Riddick directly that Cam Ward is the best leader he has ever seen.
Wow. And Cristobal has been around some incredible players during his time at Miami.
Exactly. So for him to say that about Ward is a pretty huge statement.
It definitely speaks volumes about Ward's character and his ability to inspire those around him.
And Riddick connects Ward's leadership directly to his impact on the Miami program.
So he's saying that Ward's leadership translated into wins on the field.
Yeah, he describes how Ward transferred in from Washington State and immediately took on a leadership role, setting high standards and pushing the team towards winning.
So he wasn't afraid to come in and make his presence felt?
Not at all. And Riddick says that once Ward's play on the field started to match his leadership, everyone bought in, and the offense really took off.
So it was a combination of talent and leadership that sparked their success.
Right. And Riddick believes that Ward will bring that same level of respect and influence to whatever NFL team drafts him.
Sounds like he's painting a picture of a quarterback who has the potential to be a real difference maker.
Yep. Exactly. He sees Ward as not just a physically gifted quarterback, but also a potentially transformative leader for an NFL franchise.
And that's the kind of player that every team dreams of, having someone who can elevate the entire organization.
Okay, so now the conversation naturally shifts to Shedeur Sanders, another quarterback prospect who's been generating a lot of buzz.
Right, he's got a famous last name, and he's been putting up impressive numbers.
Exactly, and the host of the YouTube segment brings up a good point that Riddick himself has praised Sanders quite a bit in the past.
So the question becomes, what's the key difference in Riddick's mind? What separates these two quarterbacks?
Right, because they're both highly regarded prospects, but clearly Riddick sees something in Ward that pushes him over the edge.
I'm curious to hear his explanation.
Well, Riddick boils it down to one key factor, the raw horsepower in Cam Ward's arm.
Ah, so he's saying that Ward simply possesses a greater level of pure arm strength.
Exactly, and he even brings up an interesting analogy to John Elway.
John Elway, that's a legendary name.
He was known for having one of the strongest arms in NFL history. And Riddick suggests that Elway's arm talent was so exceptional that even when his throws weren't perfectly placed, they could still be highly effective.
Wow, that's high praise comparing Ward's arm to a Hall of Famer.
It is, and it shows how much emphasis Riddick puts on that raw arm strength.
Because sometimes it's not just about being accurate, it's about being able to make those throws that other quarterbacks simply can't.
Exactly, those throws that require incredible velocity and zip to fit into tight windows.
And that can be a huge advantage, especially in crucial situations.
But just when you think the debate is settled, Shannon Sharpe throws a curveball into the mix.
I love it when things get shaken up. What does Sharpe bring to the table?
Well, he acknowledges that Ward might be a very good quarterback, but he argues that Travis Hunter is actually the best overall player in this draft class.
Travis Hunter. Now, that's an interesting twist.
Yeah, Hunter is a two-way player. He excels at both cornerback and wide receiver.
Wow, that's incredibly rare to be that talented on both sides of the ball.
Right, and that's Sharpe's main point. So he believes that Hunter's unique ability to play at such a high level on both offense and defense makes him the most valuable player in this draft.
So he's basically saying that Hunter's versatility outweighs even the value of a top quarterback prospect.
Exactly. And he challenges Riddick directly, asking him if he believes that Cam Ward is a better quarterback than Travis Hunter is a cornerback.
Oh, that's putting him on the spot.
It is. And Sharpe lays out his reasoning pretty clearly.
Yeah.
He argues that the quarterback position inherently carries a higher value because quarterbacks touch the ball so much more often and their overall influence on the game is greater.
Well, it's hard to argue with that. Quarterbacks are essentially the field generals.
Right. But Sharp is basically saying that Hunter's talent is so special, so unique, that it might actually transcend positional value.
It's a fascinating debate. Does exceptional talent at a less impactful position outweigh very high potential at the most impactful position?
Right. It's a classic conundrum in football evaluation. And Sharp then delves into a more detailed assessment of Hunter's skills.
Okay, I'm all ears.
He praises Hunter's incredible athleticism, but he also points out that Hunter is still somewhat raw as a wide receiver.
So he's saying that there's still room for growth and development?
Exactly. He thinks Hunter needs to refine his technique, particularly in terms of getting off press coverage and running more precise routes.
Makes sense. Those are crucial skills for a wide receiver, especially at the NFL level.
But when it comes to cornerback, Sharp believes that Hunter is a natural.
So he thinks he's already got the instincts and the fundamentals to excel on defense.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Sharp mentions that Hunter played for Deion Sanders in college.
Deion Sanders, one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time.
Right, so it's no surprise that Hunter might have developed some exceptional skills under his tutelage. And Sharp's ultimate assessment is that Hunter possesses the best pure talent in this draft and is therefore the best player due to his unprecedented ability to contribute effectively on both offense and defense.
So he's basically saying that Hunter's potential is through the roof.
Exactly. He sees him as a potential game changer on both sides of the ball. Now, Riddick actually responds to Sharp's argument, and it's interesting because it's not a complete dismissal.
Oh, so he's open to the idea that Hunter might be special.
He is. He actually agrees with Sharp's assessment that Hunter is an instant Pro Bowl caliber corner.
Wow, that's high praise.
Yeah, and he lists all the reasons why he believes that Hunter has what it takes to be a star on defense.
Such as?
Exceptional instincts, excellent ball skills, a strong understanding of route recognition, and impressive recovery speed.
Sounds like the complete package.
And Riddick also acknowledges that Hunter could be utilized in certain situations at wide receiver.
So he's not ruling out his offensive potential.
But he does agree with Sharp that Hunter needs more dedicated development to truly master the receiver position.
Makes sense. It's one thing to be a natural athlete. It's another thing to have the refined skills necessary to consistently excel at a complex position.
Right. And Riddick even goes as far as to say that Hunter was likely the most outstanding athlete and all-around football player in college this past year.
That's a huge compliment coming from an analyst like Riddick.
It is, but then he circles back to his original argument. Cam Ward is still his pick for the #1 overall draft selection.
So he's sticking to his guns.
Yeah, and his main reason is that he believes the quarterback position is simply too important to pass up on a player like Ward, who he sees as being ready to contribute right away.
It's the age-old debate, positional value versus pure talent.
And in this case, Riddick is siding with the importance of the quarterback position.
Which is a pretty common stance in the NFL world.
Especially when you're talking about a team like the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Who are rumored to be strongly considering Ward with the #1 pick.
They're in desperate need of a franchise quarterback.
And Riddick says there's just no argument.
Yeah.
They absolutely should select Cam Ward.
That's a strong endorsement. He clearly believes that Ward is the right fit for the Titans.
Yeah.
So there you have it, a really fascinating and in-depth discussion about some of the top prospects in the 2025 NFL Draft.
Yeah, we got to hear Louis Riddick make his case for Cam Ward, highlighting his leadership, his arm strength, his processing skills, and the overall importance of the quarterback position.
And we also heard Shannon Sharp throw a curveball into the mix, arguing for Travis Hunter's unique two-way talent and his potential to be a dominant player on both sides of the ball.
And it's important to note that they both acknowledge the talent of Shedeur Sanders, but ultimately they see Ward and Hunter as having a slightly higher ceiling.
And what's really interesting is that they're both looking at these players through different lenses.
Right. Riddick is prioritizing the quarterback position and the immediate impact he believes Ward can make.
While Sharp is putting more emphasis on Hunter's rare versatility and his potential to excel at two different positions.
It just goes to show that there's no single formula for evaluating talent.
Exactly. And ultimately, it comes down to what each individual team values most.
Some teams might prioritize a specific position or a particular skill set.
While others might be looking for those intangible qualities like leadership or that it factor that can't always be measured.
It's a complex process with a lot of different variables to consider.
And that's what makes the NFL Draft so unpredictable and so exciting.
It's like a giant puzzle where each team is trying to find the missing pieces that will lead them to a championship.
So as you reflect on this discussion and you think about those three names we've been talking about, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and Travis Hunter, What qualities do you believe are the most crucial for a top NFL draft pick to possess?
And why might different NFL teams prioritize different attributes based on their current roster, their coaching staff, their overall philosophy?
And perhaps even more importantly, what are some of those less talked about factors that might play a significant role in a player's journey to success in the NFL?
It's something to ponder as we get closer and closer to the draft.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of NFL draft analysis. We'll catch you next time.